because we have phrases of hundreds of years old. Birds of a feather flock together. Innate feeling of safety when you're with people who are like you.
Even among the most gregarious people who love diversity and different foods and different people and different cultures, but they'll want to retreat to their own suburb. People are seduced very quickly by, or can be seduced very, very quickly by this globalism. It's Olympian. It's Olympian. They're floating above, looking down at we mortals. We're like little ants, and saying, why can't they just get along? Does it matter? All ants are the same. Why can't they open their borders? Very grand. And I keep coming across this, as Harry says, not necessarily from people from wealthy backgrounds. It can be from people who've done it themselves, but who are, and this is the West's big weakness, hyper individualistic, very individualistic, and we're just, it's our strength. This is the irony of it. It's one of our central psychological characteristics, that we are individualistic, that we are driven by an individual conscience, which originated in Christianity, and so on, and it's creative. It leaves us to follow our thoughts, follow our dreams, be entrepreneurial. It's all individualism. We can form teams, but they're functional teams. You be the treasurer and you be the technician and so on. And then we break apart when we're undertaking a different task. But around the world, people are collectivist. They're relatively xenophobic. They're highly ethnocentric. That's normal. And it can be difficult for Europeans to get a grip, an intuitive grip on what's happening, because it's alien. And so people come to our country and they'll start living and they'll have children. The first generation comes, second generation comes along. And one thing in Australia that we notice is foreigners clustering together. By foreigners, I mean minorities. Even when they're speaking with a broad Australian accent, tend to cluster together in the major cities, Sydney and Melbourne, the two largest cities. And there'll be whole suburbs Chinese, another whole suburb just Indian, wall-to-wall Indians. But then another suburb that's white, with a few speckled minorities, but white, because minorities don't feel at home there, and so on. So we're dealing with differences in national character. At university, once we used to study national character. We don't study it anymore.
Yeah, I think what Richard, what Harry was talking about then is there's a phrase now called anywheres and somewheres. So, we have people who want to belong somewhere, who crave, and we call that patriotism, love of country. They put the country first to a certain extent. Then we have the anywheres, which are normally people who have the financial ability to relocate if they want to, because they will go wherever's better for them. You can actually say that with a lot of the migration, people leaving their homelands in Asia and Africa, not because they love the West, not because they love England, but because at this moment in time, that's where I'll have the best benefits. So they're anywhere, they'll go anywhere where they think their life will be better. And part of that will be human nature. And then if we're looking at multiculturalism, we know this to be true because we have phrases of hundreds of years old. Birds of a feather flock together. If you go to Spain on, the Costa del Sol, there'll be parts of, the town that will be purely English or purely Danish because people have emigrated there and set up. There's something comforting, and it's more than comfort, it's safety. It's that innate feeling of safety when you're with people who are like you, especially when you're surrounded by people who are not like you. Because we know when hard times come and when resources are short, we all end up killing each other. So we need to be with our tribe because that's the only way we're going to survive. And we keep forgetting we're animals at the end of the day. We have inbuilt instincts, inbuilt traits, and we think we can overcome them, and I don't think we can.
No. I agree with that very much.
Another problem. Sorry, Harry, I'll just go on quickly. Another problem related to that is that the universities have been alienated from us for quite a long time, from the common people for quite a long time. And I've spent half my life studying sociology, social psychology, politics, and so on. And there's no place for biology. There's no place for human nature, for understanding why would humans behave that way. What would you expect them to do in this situation? Well, my approach is to say, well, let's look at humans as an evolved species that's colonized the world, and there are universals such as ethnocentrism, such as tribalism, such as preference, birds of a feather flocking together, preference for one's own. Even among the most gregarious people who love diversity and different foods and different people and different cultures, but they'll want to retreat to their own suburb at night. Many, not all of them, all the time, but as a broad trend, that is true. And this stripping away of biology from the universities, and the reasoning was ideological. The reasoning was ideological. The left basically staked its claim in the social sciences and humanities, soft social sciences and humanities, and dominate it to this day throughout the West. And they're intolerant. So it's not a pleasant workplace for a conservative to be some of these universities. Now we have alternatives springing up. There are Catholic universities in Australia. There are conservative universities in America being set up or already running, but very much in the minority. And they're not the big names like Harvard and Princeton and Oxford and Cambridge. Where did those four traitors, those famous traitors, Blunt, Burgess, Clay, where did they go? It was Cambridge. They became communists at Cambridge. Now that's setting what I'm saying in. It's a very good example. Our university should be the nation's brains trust. It should be where we go when we have really complicated problems to solve, like global warming. What do? We want to keep the industry going, but at the same time, we want, we don't want to pollute the planet. So what do we do? And it should be, and also with social problems, where do we go? Should we allow mass immigration? If so, from where? What problems will we face? And the experts we're asking are quite often ideologues. They're not actual scientists. They're followers of various ideologies, typically on the left. And this adds to this, and I think has had a generative role in this reverse ethnic hierarchy that is multiculturalism. So we are cut off from our potential brains trust. Our cleverest children go to university, are indoctrinated, or generally just leave in disgust, go to industry or go somewhere else. And we're left naked, basically, because in a world as industrial and as alien and as complex as the world is now, you need brains trusts. We need the universities. We need experts. But they've been taken away from us in many, not all, in many disciplines.
And what we're doing now in Australia, we I don't know if you were aware, we run something called the British Australian Community, which you see that there, a little leaflet for that. And we are doing really well. We're trying to bring in academics, because there are academics who are, feel they've been, they're in these universities keeping their heads down, or they've been, they've left in disgust or whatever. And we're attracting really high quality people. We're also building an organization, and we're trying to persuade people that it's actually okay to love your own people if you're white. Yeah, I mean, we all know that we can do it if we're not white. That's fine. We got black power. Yay, hooray. Oh, Aboriginal, oh, whatever. Oh, awesome. But if you're white, you're literally Hitler. Well, we're saying, no, you're not literally. You're just like normal. It's just normal. This is what our book, The Anglophobia, was all about. That it's completely normal. And the book contains quite a lot of Frank's academic uh, um, stuff in there, and we've got a fairly. It's all written really, understand why you read the book yourself. There was a lot of terms and things in there that they're broken down quite understandably. So yeah, that's what we're doing now. Is just educating people that it's okay to be white and to love your people. That's okay. And it doesn't mean that you have to hate somebody else. It's not. It doesn't mean you're about to invade Poland or start burning gypsies in ovens or whatever it might be, or anyone else. So yeah.